Hey friends, my name is Aimee Rebecca and welcome or welcome back to my channel. Okay, I'm dealing with a mess behind me. Please ignore that. I'm not just lazy, like I am lazy, but I'm not just lazy. I'm about to package all of this up to send off as a vintage parcel that I just sold. And if I move it somewhere else, it'll get creased and wrinkled and I don't know, maybe I am just lazy. Anyway, it's been a while since I've made a no buy you / low buy you kind of video, and I thought, hey, why not make a 2-for-1? A video where I compare my no buy year experience from last year with my low buy experience so far from this year. And that'll give you guys a little bit of an idea of, firstly, how that's all working out for me, and secondly, what to expect if you're thinking of going into a no buy or low buy year. If you are interested in low buy year, no buy year, intentional living type content, then I think this is the channel for you. Why not go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on that little notification bell so you never miss a video, and give this one a thumbs up. It was a really creepy wink. I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry. Okay, so like I said at the beginning of this video, I did a no buy year in 2020 and I am now 3-ish months into my first low buy year. I have videos where I set out each of my specific rules for the no buy and the low buy. I'll link those down below if you want to get more of an in-depth view of like how they're different and what they consisted of. But basically the idea with the no buy year last year was to just not bring any more stuff into my life. The low buy year that I'm in now, it brought forward a lot of my rules or my guidelines from last year, but it's more of a loosey-goosey, laid-back attitude. Like if I suddenly think of something that would make my life easier or more enjoyable, then I weigh it up and I think, hey, do I really need that? And if the answer is yes, then I buy it. No guilt. But as far as possible, I still try to not buy things. So if you're sitting here wondering, okay, I'm interested, you got my attention, I want to have less stuff and I want to save more money, which one of those things should I do? In my personal experience, I would recommend starting with a no buy year. And it sounds terrifying. I'm going to link my no buy year playlist down below so you can see exactly how that played out for me. If you're new and you don't know how that went, it went pretty well, spoiler alert. But it's not as scary or difficult or stressful as you might imagine. It sounds terrible, right? A whole year of not buying anything. The horror. But it's actually not that bad once you get into it. And the good thing about it, and I say this for a no buy year or a low buy year, is that it is personal to you. So for instance, I wanted to cut down on my takeaway coffee, but I didn't cut it out because I need to live. So I just limited myself to 1 takeaway coffee a week. Maybe there's something that you really love in your life that you're gonna say, I wanna hang on to this. And that's fine. It's not cut and dry, you know, you can't spend any money at all for 365 days. Don't have anything, don't have any fun for a year. It's not like that. But I do think the benefit of doing the no buy year over the low buy year is that there's not so much of a grey area. For instance, last year I said to myself, no new clothes. You can't argue with that, right? That's pretty straightforward. Whereas this year, it's only buying clothes that really like serve a purpose in my life. So for instance, I need a new pair of jeans because mine now have a hole in the crotch. That serves a specific purpose. But there's kind of this grey area of like, oh, well, maybe I should get 2 pairs of jeans, just like to save on laundry. I feel like my low buy year has a little bit more wiggle room, which is fine if you are the kind of person who has a lot of self-control. It's also worth noting, because we have a Facebook group for no buy and low buy years, I'll link them down below, but a lot of people have said, like, I started a no buy year and then I failed and so I'm trying it again. And it's like, hey, you don't fail. Maybe you mess up. I messed up. I bought like £200 worth of crafting materials during the second lockdown, and I was able to just say, okay, you live and learn, let's move on. Don't hit an obstacle, feel like you ruined everything and then give up. And I think if you approach a no buy year with that mindset of like, okay, I'm listing out exactly what I want to achieve. I've set myself these rules, I've set myself these goals, but I know if I mess up, I'm just gonna keep going and keep trying. Don't give up, because it's very easy to mess up. It's very easy. You've spent your whole life buying whatever you wanted, and now all of a sudden you're putting in these restrictions. So yeah, you might mess up, but don't let that seem like a big scary thing. Like if you mess up once then you failed. Give yourself a little bit more slack and just do the best you can. Another reason I personally found that doing the no buy year first was beneficial to me is because it just built so many great habits now in my life, because I went from that very strict way of thinking of like, I can buy this, I can't buy that. I'm now not used to shopping, not used to buying things. I'm not in the habit of going out and spending money needlessly. And so even though I'm now actively doing a low buy year, it doesn't feel like I'm really doing anything. This just feels like a way of life to me now. So yes, I'm sticking within these guidelines I've created for myself for this year, but I just feel like this is how I'm gonna live for the rest of my life. Those are my new habits, those are my new thought processes. This just feels natural to me. Whereas I think if I had gone in with a low buy year first, I know myself, and I would have been making all kinds of excuses, maybe, you know, making a lot more allowances for myself, and I wouldn't really have got the full experience, and I wouldn't have been able to make those changes in my mind about what is necessary and what is not necessary, if that makes sense. However, everybody's different. Everybody is different in the way that their minds work, and everybody's lives are different. If you have a family with children, I have no idea what that's like. That might make it really difficult for you to do a no buy year. Like for me, just spending my own money on my own self, it's really easy to monitor what I buy and say I'm cutting out these luxuries. But if your circumstances are different, then maybe a low buy year would be good for you. And in no way am I saying that a low buy year is inferior to a no buy year. You might go in, do your low buy year and have like the best time with it and create all these really great healthy new habits. But like for me personally, this is just a personal thing. I'm glad I went with the no buy year first because of the way my brain works, because I've got an all or nothing kind of attitude, and because I'm very competitive. So having like these stricter rules really worked for me. But there are definitely benefits to both, and also they're both really similar. I think the main thing, regardless of whether you want to do the no buy or the low buy or whatever the heck it is you want to call it, is to make sure you have those clear goals, those clear intentions, and the clear guidelines for yourself. As long as you know what you want to achieve, what you are willing to spend money on and what you are not, and you try and stick to that as far as possible, then it doesn't matter what you call it, you're going to be successful either way. Was that helpful to anyone? By the way, I feel like I probably should have, I don't know. Sometimes I make videos and I'm like, way to go, Ames, you just rambled at the screen for 10 minutes and said nothing. I feel like that was one of those. I hope it was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you are interested in this kind of thing, come join the Facebook group. It's a good time. But yeah, that's me for today. Hope you enjoyed. But until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember that I love you so much and you are enough just as you are. Bye guys.